Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and this is Westworld, Season 3, Episode 5, Genre. And I can already see I'm getting skipping and jumping going on in my stream here, so I apologize because most likely this is going to be another glitchy episode. If that's the case, I'm apologizing right now to all the people that are going to be in the chat that I might have to dump it and actually go and redo my own by myself. There we go. So, yeah, I apologize if that does happen. So, let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get going here. If you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, at the very end of this video, you're going to see a video pop up here. Basically, what YouTube does takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible on the videos in my vast video library just for you and pops it up there. Up here is going to be Saturday Morning Blast Off. That's what's going to be up there. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below there. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule that's up there. And I put it up there weekly. I also mirror it on my Facebook page. And speaking of all those social media links are also on suspendedfanimation.com. So Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon page, but no tier set up as of yet. And I also have a Facebook group page, which you guys can post stuff to and talk amongst yourselves. All right. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be an video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. Yes. All right. So, wow. So, basically, we got the whole gist of how Rehoboam came to being. Basically, Sirach tells he's talking to Rehoboam as a memory, and we find this out later on at the end that these are basically the files that Dolores is looking for. She was looking for something on Sirach so that she could know who he was, so she can attack him. Essentially, know thy enemy is what they say. And that's pretty much what she ends up getting Connell to do. Connell ends up getting into Insight using Liam's key, private key, and downloads all those files and gives it to her, and she reads all these files. And it's basically Sirach recording his memories of him and his brother setting up Rehoboam with Dempsey, Liam's father, and all the shit that went into it. And they almost got they almost got their funding pulled when it was called Solomon. So for those of you biblical people out there, Solomon is the father of Rehoboam. And yeah, so that's where that all comes about. They're biblical names because Rehoboam's supposed to be a god of sorts. And that's essentially what it is that him and his brother, Sarek and his brother, basically created this to save humanity from itself by taking control of humanity and factoring out all the outliers, as he puts it, and stopping that from actually happening, which is really fucked up because that basically shoehorns people. They have the freedom of illusion, but they, of course, don't have any freedom whatsoever. Let me get this early on to Sarek telling the Brazilian president that if he doesn't do what they say, that the guy with the bushy mustache will be president within 6 weeks, while his family is hauled outside and in the middle of the night and killed, essentially. Things like that. Dolores, in the meantime, reveals that her whole plan is to give everyone the files, their own files. So they're going to get their past, present, and future. And she does that and releases it, and it's fucked up. It's creates havoc, of course, because everyone says, well, why do I need to conform to this if my past, my present, my future are already decided for me at this point? And craziness ensues around, I think they're in San Francisco right now still, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they're in San Francisco or LA. I think they're in San Francisco still. But, oh, and, Cal gets shot up with some drugs from Liam 'cause, Liam is trying to escape, and he gets shot up with the genre drug that he was given at the party, and, we end up seeing Ash and Giggles show up again to help Dolores. Actually, Dolores hires them through that app, and Giggles says, "Yeah, he's on genre," which is basically it's like going through movie plots. So we see Caleb. It's almost like a noir movie, and then a love story kind of thing, and then the final one, he's asking what he's on, and Giggles is like, "This is reality, man. This is all reality." This is when everything's kind of crashing down around them. And we also get the return of a little character. So Connells is basically bringing Bernard in, and in order to, he takes him to Insight in order to get those files, Cerex files, to upload to Dolores, and also tell them what the hell is going on. And who shows up but Stubbs? And Stubbs, his arm still, not working all that well. They capture Connell, and that's when they see Sarek's men coming in to basically go after Connell. And he says, "They don't know who you are. Leave. My time is done. My role here is done. But you," is what he says to Bernard, "are one of the people that we can't recreate. So basically, you are unique," is what he's saying. VB Vids says, "What do you think Liam meant when he told Caleb it was you?" It was you is basically what Liam was telling Caleb, that he was the one that killed his friend. I kind of got that vibe from the very first episode, that he was the one that killed his friend who he was talking to via AI, which is really fucked up, because if he killed his friend and then he's getting therapy from his dead friend that he killed, that's just really messed up. Yeah. BD says, "Thought the editing of the drug genre switches was choppy and frustrating to watch." It's supposed to be choppy, BD. It's supposed to be on a drug trip, and you have all of a sudden a switch in genre, if you will. It's incongruent with what things are going on, and I actually thought that was pretty well done, the way they did that. So you didn't think about that, VB Vids. Sorry, your name's hard to say real fast. I talk quickly, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's what I got, was that he killed his friend, and since Cal was actually, blaming Liam for his friend's death, that's one of the things that was kind of shitty. And also, Caleb, that whole realization that his mind was essentially reset as one of Sarek's outliers. That was the other thing that we got too, was Sarek has a whole facility full of outliers, and as he said, we are experimenting on them basically to fix them, rather than just using them as cannon fodder out in war and sending them off to get killed, which is really fucked up too. So yeah. Ricardo Sanchez says, Caleb is William, friend William is daughter of Williams. Dolores is daughter of Maeve. Maeve is Maeve. It's an interesting theory. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Kid Cootie plays Caleb's friend. Would like to see more of him. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to see more. Well, we might see some more in the flashbacks. Booney Mass says, "A drastic music and color changes is giving me a headache." Yeah, I can understand that. Again, that's a drug trip. They did a good job of conveying that whole, drug addledness, where you just kind of switch gears all of a sudden, and it's incongruent with the way, you normally are. So, hey, no problem, VB Vids. That's my theory in anyway, that he's the one that actually killed his friend. And then they, of course, wiped him, because Caleb is having these flashbacks. He's starting to remember things as he's on the drug, and he's remembering being conditioned. And as we see, if you saw the preview for next week's episode, William's about to be conditioned as well. They're putting him in the same kind of room, the same kind of goggles, all that kind of stuff. And that's pretty messed up. Yeah. BD says, on my 5.1, the sound mix is odd, music and effects way up, and dialogue mumble. Really? I was okay on mine, but then again, I'm on a 7.1 surround sound system. So maybe that was what the thing was. I don't know for sure. Yeet Yote Dude says, I haven't liked this season much, but I like this episode. Aaron Paul is trying so hard to carry the show. I'm actually not really liking Aaron Paul, to tell you the truth, the Yeet Yote Dude. I am liking the follow through on this. We were actually getting a lot more answers and more quickly. We're not having these meandering kind of setups as to, oh, this might be what's happening. No, it's not. No, we're actually getting answers now. It's like, here's what's happened. Here's the setup. Boom. Here's the answer. Setup, answer, setup, answer. And I think it's just because they have 8 episodes rather than, what is it? They had 13, I believe, last season, or 10 or 13 last season, and so they need to get through it quickly. They only have 3 more episodes left after this, remember. That's it. Just 3 more. So, Derek Rawlings says, I'm eager to see how the world responds to having their narratives given to them. Yeah, that she sent it out to everybody, the entire world. I'm kind of surprised the internet didn't crash, whatever internet. They must have some really good internet by now, by 2058. Not like our shit that's happening now with everyone, at home and bringing down the system and slowing down YouTube and all that stuff. If you've seen some of my videos, it's like I'm like max headroom all of a sudden, where everything's getting it's perfect tonight. Good. I reset my router again. I try and do that before every show. I try and actually reset my router just in case. So yeah, it's nice. That's good. Yeah, yesterday was just a shit show. I mean, I was trying to watch through it yesterday, and it was just like all over the place, and I just ended up re-recording it. Ah, I agree with you, Derek Rawlings. It did kick a big old anthill right there. Yeah. What's the deal with a few characters wearing masks? Um, are you talking about? I don't remember seeing the mask. There was one thing I thought was kind of funny though. When they're taking the subway, one of the ads on the back wall of the subway, on the TV screen says insight. It's for insight. It says find your place, which I thought was really fucking evil and insidious at the same time. And I just started laughing. I actually had to write that one down because it made me kind of laugh. It's just like a blink and you miss it kind of thing. And I happened to be looking right at it when it happened. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen it. BD says they wore masks like people are wearing now. Oh yeah, the face mask. I saw that too on the subway. I only saw the one guy wearing it, but remember, even before COVID-19 was happening and stuff like that, there are people out there who were wearing masks and whatnot. People do that, so in the future, maybe they're still doing that. So yeah. Ryan Miller says, did you notice a strange figure in the background running after the first car action scene? I didn't. Huh. Interesting. I wonder who that strange figure might be. Maybe it was a PA that had someone's coffee and was trying to get the coffee to them and didn't realize that they were rolling at the time. It happens. Um, what else do we have here? And Serac actually killing Dempsey at the plane crash scene was pretty brutal as well. Basically driving him out to where his plane had crashed, his private jet, and he's like, "That's my plane." He goes, "Yes, and I'm sorry to say you didn't make it," and just slams Dempsey's head a couple of times into the wing of the plane and kills him, and then drags his body into the wreckage. And it's just like, damn. Yeah. Yeah, I know he did really just kind of grab him and use him as a rag doll for the most part. Which also starts making me wonder, is Sarek human at this point? Is he, or as he said, him and his brother were taking pills for the radiation poisoning that they had. And I'm wondering if Sarek might have already dealt with Delos. I remember they said that he had a taste of Delos's data early on, and maybe he's actually an AI, kind of like Dolores is, only with you know, uh, somebody's real personalities added into him, kind of like William. Dun dun dun. That could be another plot right there. We don't know for sure. Oh, this mug, stop looking at my mug. My eyes are up here, Pen. Stop looking at my mug. Derek Rawlings says, I'm also eager to see if Dolores levels with Caleb about the bullet hole thing. Yeah, Caleb has to realize at this point that she's not human, of course, and that she's AI or robot or something like that. Because I mean, and then also there was that one bullet that went through her, and I thought it had hit Caleb, actually, you know? So I was kind of surprised it hadn't. And I want to know what that thing is in the top of Caleb's mouth that we saw last episode. Is it something that's actually controlling his mind? Is that something that Sarek, put into the outliers' heads to control them? Because as he said, his brother was one of the outliers that was going to take humanity down. So he has this facility where he has all the outliers in there. Um, so yeah, there's all kinds of weird questions that are still up there. Every time I start thinking about, they're answering some questions, a couple of more pop up. Yeah. And then Connell actually, blowing up the office too. That was pretty nasty right there, where basically he takes Sarek's men with him into the office and then calls Sarek, and Sarek saying, what, all my investigations are leading here. I think you guys have a mole. And he goes, yeah, it's me. And then blows up the office as Bernard and Stubbs are walking out. And I still think Bernard and Stubbs should be spun off into its own cop show. Really. Derek Rawlings says this episode basically punted all of the Serac as a manifestation of Rehoboam theories. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, it just showed that he set everything up. And like I said, I think I want, as I start thinking about it even more now, maybe Sarek is a one of the throwbacks to the old Westworld, like before the one that we just saw, explode. Because we know that the 70s movie actually is within this timeline. So there was another Westworld before that ended fairly violently, and that's why they took it private and went off the island and all that kind of stuff. And I'm wondering if he had any dealings with that first one and might be embroiled in that as well, which would be interesting. So yeah, some good stuff. Can't wait for next week. And yeah, to see what the hell's gonna happen with William. I mean, he bites somebody's fingers off, that's for sure. They're trying to strap him into that chair, which is gonna be interesting. Derek Rawlings says Martin Dolores figuratively fell on his sword, and in doing so, hides the robot body. It was a very clean cover up. I agree with you. Yo, dude says, how are they going to wrap this up? Basically, nothing has happened. Actually, a lot has happened. Yo, dude, as they left off with last season. Last season, we see William wake up in the ruins of what is left, or basically the future, where humanity, I guess, has destroyed itself, and so this is the beginning of all of that, of how the end is coming. The Dolores was set out to try and free everyone, but in freeing everyone, does she doom everyone as well? That's the whole question right there. Does she doom everybody by trying to free them? So, yeah. Hey, Filthy News. How's it going? Robot cat fight between Maeve and Dolores. Yeah. Still not clear what Dolores's end game is. Well, she wants to start her own, uh, people, I guess you could say. I don't know how she's gonna do that, considering that they're all locked up. But I mean, is the data out there to create more of her, or more of her kind out there? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly what her end game is on that one. And I don't think her end game is the destruction of humankind. Even though they seem to be doing a good job of that right now, just from her saying, "Hey, here's what's been going on. They've collected all this material about you, and they've been holding you back, and your free will is not your own." I mean, that whole thing with Caleb telling Liam about the rats back when he was in the war, and how they set up a rat trap, and how, if they filled the bucket of water too much, it gave the rats hope, so they kept swimming around, but there was no hope. It was a false hope, and they drowned anyway. Otherwise, if they filled it just right, they drowned quickly. Ah, yeah, some pretty nasty stuff. Congrats, your future sucks. Your pal Dolores. Ta-da! Thanks, BD. Oh man. So Derek Rawlings says we still also haven't seen the large mech robot get paid off yet. I don't think we will. I think that large mech robot was just there to show that Dolores slash Charlotte was still trying to work the shareholders while she's doing her own thing as well. So I don't think we're going to see anything more other than it was a cool thing. And that's what Delos is pivoting off of, so that they don't have to deal with the whole, Westworld going awry and killing all those people. So that's, they're now going to private industry, military, all that kind of stuff to make those gigantic robots, which more than likely they're probably going to need now to keep people from killing everybody else. And of course, that Maeve's going to take those over. So that's the other thing is, if Maeve can control all the robots and technology, there you go. She's got control of those things. And Bernard also says that he was part of Dolores's plan all along. He realizes now that he's part of Dolores's plans. So yeah. Oh man, that's some good stuff though. I'm just looking over my notes to see if I missed anything here, and I'm not seeing anything. If you're ever wondering what it is that I'm looking at little notes, my little notebook here, which fits just nicely so it's out of screen. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let you guys go. So, what else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow is going to be the very excellent Dispatches from Elsewhere. If you're not watching Dispatches from Elsewhere, it's on AMC. It's a good show. Take a look at it. Give it a shot. See what you think. Tuesday is the final season of Future Man. I'm going episode by episode, one episode a week. Um, on blah, 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 blah. On Tuesday, I already said what Tuesday was. On Wednesday is Clone Wars. Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Since no one was watching it on Fridays, I moved it over to Wednesday because I'm off on Thursday, and on Fridays now is the animated Harley Quinn, which is awesome. So Saturday is Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you want to talk about it, and talk about it with you guys when my internet's not crashing. And let's see, Sunday we wrap around again with Westworld. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, watch Harley, man. Harley is awesome. William is a hot now. What, Dante S? I don't understand. A bot? Is that what you mean? Is he yes. William is, well, he still doesn't know if he is or not. But we know from the last episode of last season, he is. So yes, he is. We just don't know when it happened. That's the whole thing. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video up here that pops up at the end of this video. And if you like it, hit the subscribe button. If you want to know when I'm going to be on next, you can hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule. It's changed out weekly, and all my social media links are there as well. Is anyone watching Code 8 on Netflix? Yeah, I watched Code 8 yesterday, as a matter of fact. Penn, are you looking at my feeds? Is that what's going on? I actually liked it. That was pretty good. It was a good movie. It was a fun Canadian movie, eh? It was about some superheroes, eh? Yeah. Yes, William is a host. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you for everyone who joined me tonight in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. And until tomorrow for Dispatch from Elsewhere, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may get that file via your text message or something like that that gives you that insight file on your past, present, and future. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow, and have a good one. Stay safe and have a good night. All right. Thanks, everybody.